If you're thinking about moving to San Diego and wondering what the pros and cons are, well, this video breaks down the top 5 pros and cons of living in America's finest cities. If you're returning to my channel, welcome. And if you're new, my name is Jade Lee-Duffy, your San Diego realtor. I'm here as a resource to help you learn about San Diego and all the wonderful things that it has to offer. So please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you are notified as soon as I come out with my next video. Now let's get to the topic at hand. So moving to one of America's best cities, there are so many pros and cons of living here. So let's just start with the bad. So number 1 con of living in sunny San Diego is the cost of living. A new study came out recently that said that San Diego was the most expensive city to live in the US. It's actually around 47% more expensive to live here than the national average and 4% higher than other Californian cities. And a study shows that it requires $79,000 after taxes to live here comfortably. And buying a house in San Diego is going to cost you a pretty penny. The median home price in San Diego is around $900,000, around 2.5 times the national average. So living in sunny San Diego doesn't come cheap. Number 2 on the list is high taxes. There is a sales tax, income tax, and a very high gas tax. So the sales tax is 7.25. So if you are buying something for $100, it would cost $7.25 extra to buy that $100 item that you're going to purchase at the shops. Income tax, well, that depends on how much you make. So that could be anywhere from 1% to 12% for the state income tax. And the gas tax competes with Pennsylvania as one of the highest gas taxes in the nation, and that comes in at around 51 cents a gallon. If you are going to drive in the city, it is going to cost you to put gas in the tank. Number 3 on the list of cons is traffic. So there is high congestion during rush hour, and that would be around 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. in the morning, possibly until 9. And then in the afternoon, it runs from 4 p.m. to around 6:37. It's not as bad as LA, but I would add, if you're going somewhere, add anywhere between 15 minutes to an extra half an hour during rush hour. But on the plus side, getting around the city is actually really easy outside of those rush hour kind of congested, high traffic highways, such as the 15, the 56, or the 5. So if you're kind of out of those main areas, you can get anywhere around the city in generally in around 15-20 minutes. So it's very accessible to move around the city. Number 4 on the list, going in this traffic theme, is lack of public transportation. Only 1% of metro area jobs are accessible by public transportation. Most likely, if you're going to get around, you need a car. There is the trolley, which is in San Diego, and it services 50 areas around the city, and it runs on 3 lines, but it is semi-limited however, the different areas around downtown or La Jolla, Gaslamp, Del Mar, and Encinitas, once you're in certain areas and in the main streets of those areas, it is very walkable, but to get around to the different towns across San Diego, you will most likely need a car. There are some very walkable areas around San Diego downtown. There's also Pacific Beach, Ocean Beach, Mission Bay, La Jolla, Del Mar. So these areas, they're very walkable. There's lots of shops and cafes and restaurants around, but to get in between the different areas, you probably will need some other form of transportation besides your feet. Number 5 on the list for a con is fire. So fire season, I'm sure you've heard of catastrophic fires in California, and they just seem to be getting worse every year. So it is a really big concern. Fire season lasts between July to October, but it can inch a little bit earlier and it can last a little bit later, depending on when the rains come in the fall. So this also has been affecting homeowners. So home insurance has gone up dramatically in the last few years. So if you are in a high fire zone, your home insurance probably has gone up. So now getting to the good stuff. The pros of living in San Diego, there are so many. So number one on the list, I think that comes to mind, is San Diego has some of the best weather in the US, in the world. It's mild, pleasant weather throughout the year. It has around 300 days of sunshine. But there is, if you haven't heard of this, there is May gray and June gloom, which is a real thing. It is cloudy and overcast those months a lot, the closer you are to the coast. Obviously further inland towards the desert, it doesn't get as overcast, but during May and June, it does get overcast. But apart from that, it's just glorious weather throughout the year. In the summer, you can expect low 70s to the mid 80s. Obviously, there are times where it goes into the 90s, but generally we just have fabulous weather year round. Number two on the list is an outdoor lifestyle, obviously, given that we have such great weather. So there are over 70 miles of beaches. You can go surfing, there's sport fishing, there's sailing, there's tons of golf, there's miles and miles of trails all over across the city. There's Iron Mountain, there's Potato Chip Rock, there's Torrey Pines along the coast. You have world-renowned attractions such as SeaWorld, the San Diego Zoo, the Safari Park. We have over a dozen museums. The San Diego Air and Space Museum, the USS Midway, which is an aircraft carrier. There are amazing farmers markets every single weekend throughout the year. In Poway, there's one downtown. In Little Italy, as far as festivals concerned, there is Comic-Con in the summer, which attracts over 100,000 participants. Cabo Del Mar. There's also the San Diego Wine and Food Festival. And there's just so much that I can't even mention. And if you love beer, there is a huge craft beer scene in San Diego. There are over 100 local breweries all dotted across the county, so you can raise a glass to that. Number three on the list is education. So there are great schools throughout San Diego. Some of the best school districts are Poway and the San Diego Unified School District. And we have some of the top ranked universities also in the country. So UCSD, SDSU, USD, and California State University, San Marcos. And lastly on the list is close proximity to mountains, the desert, and Mexico. So you could go skiing in Big Bear Mountain, which is around 2 hours away. Joshua Tree National Park is around 2.5, 3 hours away, which is absolutely gorgeous. And Mexico is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. So you can actually walk across the border. It's around 45 minutes south of San Diego. So you can actually walk across the border and be in Tijuana, and there's an airport right there that will whisk you away to other destinations in Mexico, and it is a fraction of the cost than from flying from San Diego. Or you can just go straight to Mexico, drive right through and go to some beach towns along the Mexican coast, Baja California. And also there is a wine country in nearby Mexico as well. So there you have it, 5 pros and cons of living in San Diego. If you have any more questions, please reach out. My details are below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so we stay connected, and reach out anytime if you need help. Thanks for watching.